This is Sports Stuff
Gold, and I'm in NCAA Division
with
Three.
Jim and Muff,
Sorry.
plus interjection from Alex's cell phone.
No, it wasn't my cell phone, to be honest. It was coming from like the other,
We are professionals. What are you doing?
first of all.
Go on.
Better than that.
I feel like I have not been the first or only person who's had a noisy distraction.
Could have been porn, I guess.
It was not.
Yeah, Alex, mics are hot. Don't
It
get caught.
was a freak hockey accident that I clicked a while ago and didn't load until right when we started.
Crazy. All right. Today is September 10th, and we are officially all the way back with both college and the NFL. Who's pumped? This guy.
Are you?
I am.
Are you truly pumped? Because you were, I'm not gonna say you weren't excited about the NFL, but you said you weren't as excited as you were about college football.
I'm not as excited, but I'm
Okay.
excited.
Still excited?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Nate, are you excited?
Yeah, because the only day of the week I'm going to ever have free anymore is Wednesdays, barring any middle school games.
So that's less time you'll see your spouse?
And she's going to Cali here in a couple weeks, so.
I feel like Nate's
All
one of
right.
those people that like silently and doesn't really talk too much about like what's going on in his life. That way nobody bothers him when he has the opportunity to be
But
alone.
no, realistically, I look at my calendar. I can see on my fridge right now. The next three Thursdays, I have a middle school game. Friday night, obviously, and then we'll have college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, NFL Monday night. I have weekly official meetings Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays are TBD.
TBD.
All right.
So we will break down not just the NFL, but also the college football slate. And in the college football world, we will also give you our winners and losers of the week. The
Oh, yeah.
new segment that we are continuing on. Those winners and losers
Super
will
pumped for that.
only be in the college football world. It will not include the NFL. As always, thanks to everybody that's interacting with our content on the socials. As always, you can make sure you can catch us on YouTube and Facebook, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure we keep growing this podcast. And
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
breaking news. Everybody, Bill Belichick is now on InstaFace.
Is it Instaface or the Book of Faces?
And he said InstaFace.
He in his
Okay.
his announcement, he very explicitly said InstaFace.
Instaface. Okay. All
There's
right.
good news. We are too, which means if you're going to follow Bill, you may as well follow us.
That's a great point.
So,
Great point.
Bill, you can follow us too.
I'm all right with that too.
I have a feeling that Bill's not controlling any of this, and that's totally okay. But I'd like to say that we follow Bill and Bill follows us. Good enough?
Yeah.
All right. During the college football season, don't forget our additional episode, our weekly betting episode that comes out on Thursdays. Get you ready to raise that bank account into the next week. Get you into the next tax bracket.
We hope so.
We hope. I think we have a guest picker this week, Jim.
Yes, and we're probably gonna have a fight because I caught the spread at a different point on my best bet. My best bet wants to
There's
argue.
no fight.
Jim, this has already been established. Whatever we lock it in on during the show is what's tracked. You can have the fact that you won money otherwise, but it's tracked at whatever we
I
lock it in on.
disagree. I disagree.
Disagree, but sorry, buddy.
I disagree.
Them's the breaks.
Okay.
More to come on that on Thursday, so get excited for a heated debate about how Jim lost another game.
I also may interject about FanDuel. I have criticism. Talk to their customer service. More to come in that episode.
Oh boy.
FanDuel might not be, I might not say the word FanDuel anymore.
Vandal? You're not going to say Vandal.
I might not.
Okay.
Big mad.
Jim's big mad about a customer service interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for this.
Leads us into NFL Week 1, starting with Thursday Night Football as the Chiefs host and beat the Ravens in NFL opening night 27-20. We had some storylines in here, including Xavier Worthy, who just proves that somehow the Chiefs keep being the Chiefs and getting richer in the skill positions.
Shout out to Bruce for having him on the fantasy team.
Yup.
Was he playing you, Jim?
No, I went to go snag him up.
he's
Like,
playing-
"Ooh." I was like, dang, Bruce. And he did that last year too. I don't remember who it was, but Bruce always got them sneaky
But
dogs.
here's the problem, though. He has him, but he's on his bench this week.
Still, good
But
on him,
yes, but he knew. He knew. He does his research.
though. Good on him.
Yep. Travis Kelce's new haircut.
I thought it
Bombs.
looked sharp.
Bombs. His new
My mom
haircut.
and my aunt say he looks like a 70s porn star.
You know what? He's just feeling like he's 22.
He looks like Uncle Rico.
That is also very true. His backup, Noah Gray, got a new deal. So with that new haircut, Noah Gray's new deal, is he going to be Mr. Steal Your Girl and take Taylor Swift?
If Travis keeps doing these weird appearances, maybe.
They might break up on the 28th. That's the rumor.
What is the significance of the 28th?
There was a contract found at a PR agency that their breakup is imminent and they have it planned. I just live here. I'm
just
just
live
telling you what's
here.
up.
Jim just lives on the internet and finds the things.
Yep, I just find the things.
All right. Obviously, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, win game 1 of the season over Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
By
However-
a toe.
Well, by a toe, potentially. As far as that doesn't mean that the Ravens would have beat the Chiefs if who was that? Was that Isaiah Likely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we
so-
think it's a dick move that in the press conference, Patrick Mahomes suggests white cleats?
No, he's just
I-
trolling him at that point.
Yeah.
Was it a troll? Was it
Yeah.
advice?
That's a good troll job.
All right. Well, then he's a dick, and I don't like him.
Anybody else see the memes that said if it was Dion, it would have been in?
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't know, but the Chiefs are 1-0. The Ravens are 0-1. Anything good, bad, otherwise for the Ravens in this game?
I think we finally got our first kind of look at what it's going to be like with Derrick Henry and Lamar. And man, I would hate to have to game plan against that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough, and if Isaiah Likely is that for the season, and Mark Andrews gets going, that's gonna be like Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez as far as like a dual tight end threat situation.
Good comparison. Good comparison.
So we will see. In Chiefs world, Chiefs Kingdom, Chiefs super fan. I don't think we have to say former because I bet he's still a fan. Xavier Babadar, Chiefsaholic, sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison without parole after his armed bank robbery spree.
Sometimes
That's
people
a
make bad
standard
choices.
that's the standard prison sentence. So good on you.
What'd you say, Alex?
Sometimes people make bad choices.
He made multiple bad decisions in this one. After one, I feel like
Whoa,
that should have been
whoa.
what?
Shouldn't have had any. Let's not encourage any of that. Don't make
I'm not
any of those
encouraging
decisions.
any of it. I'm saying after
That's
one.
some Antifa behavior.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
I still don't know how this conversation started. I walked right into the end of
We
it.
don't need to continue.
Alex,
Got it.
there's no real start to this. Jim made an accusation with baseless facts.
Got it.
Done and done.
I call
Um,
it. Keep the bus moving before it falls off.
In Friday Night Football in Brazil, the Eagles take down the Packers 34-29. Big thing in this, coming away from this from the Packers, is Jordan Love has sprained his MCL in the final minute of this game and is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. That's the initial projections. With this, some are saying, many are saying, potentially in this podcast, people are saying that may have been a dirty play by Jalen Carter that led to this injury.
It's very Michigan-esque. Very Michigan-esque.
Go on, Jim. How was it Michigan-esque?
Take the leg and twist.
Even though Jalen Carter's from Georgia?
Still a Michigan type play. I mean, taking the leg and twisting, not okay. Not okay.
Alex, what do you think? Dirty play or just normal football?
Anytime. So if you don't get, if it doesn't hurt, no one thinks like, oh, it's a dirty play. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, bullshit.
Jim, how often do you think this happens in the normal
This is
game?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
You
if
don't
we're
take the
saying for,
leg
like,
and twist. That's
It's
not
not
okay.
if you should. It's how often do you think this happens in a game and we don't hear
and
about
gets
it
away
unless
with
somebody
it
gets
'cause no one
hurt.
gets quote unquote hurt.
Okay, fine, but it shouldn't be done. Bad form.
No, you're right. That's
Bad
what I'm
form.
saying. I was trying to ride the fence of like,
Well,
was
don't
it
ride the fence. Quit
Alex,
flip flopping.
Jim, shut up. Alex, say your piece.
Yeah, thank you, Muff.
Dirty ball.
Thank you, Muff. My piece is that
The
if he would have
question
gotten
is,
hurt, I don't think
was it dirty?
it's dirty when everyone does it all the time. I'm saying we wouldn't be talking about it if he didn't get hurt.
Unless Jim wants to start breaking down film for us.
Yep, I'm ready for it.
Jim, it's now on you.
Dirty
Um,
hits. If I knew how to edit video, I'd have a whole segment called dirty hits.
would you?
I would.
I can teach you
I
how
could
to
green
edit.
screen it in the background, like on the Tiki Talkies.
Right, Jim. You can also have a TikTok presence for the podcast.
If you teach me how to edit the green screen in the back, I will have TikToks.
Jim, ready? Put a green screen in the back. Go.
I don't think that's how that works.
Done and done. Not
Somebody
that
on
difficult.
TikTok, get at me.
Jack Mac, tell Jim how to be a valuable.
Jim's going to
member
be a
of the
social media
podcast.
influencer.
Mr. Beast, holler at your boy.
Mr. Beast is way beyond your thoughts. You're a Jack Mac guy. For the Eagles, obviously they pull out the win here. Jalen Hurts.
Issues with the center.
Issues with the center, or
Had
it's just
some
not Jason
in-person-
Kennel.
Had some.
I mean, that's
Jason Kennel. I don't know who Jason Kennel is.
I
But they
didn't
were
get a
having a
chance to
conversation.
finish.
Kelsey.
I had to look at
Jim's
the
an
footage.
interjector. Jim's an
Jim
interjector.
sucked. Oh, we all knew Jim was an interjector. First of all, that wasn't news. Jim is the worst interjector I've ever met. Not the worst I've ever met, but
All
the
I
worst
saw
on this podcast.
was Mr. Hurt, whatever, on the Tiki Talkies in a having a face-to-face
Jim's prime
discussion.
source of news. TikTok,
That's-
everybody.
Hey, that's where I get all my
I
social
was
media
known that, to be honest.
on the Tiki Talks. Didn't
Good
look
on
like they
Jim.
were getting along much.
There was a specific situation where they had a little interaction, a little exchange. You could definitely tell that, you know, in the short yardage situations, their current center is no Jason Kelsey.
Not a tush pusher.
Well, Jason Kelsey wasn't pushing the tush.
Okay, not a push to be pushed.
All right.
That's fair.
We've said tush like 8 times too many.
All right. Anything else on this game aside from the field
The
issues?
king of whale noises is coming at me about the word tush. Shut your face.
We just lost all of our subscribers based on YouTube.
I was like, Alex, I caught on a hot mic again.
My
No,
life's a hot mic.
what do we think about the field issues in Brazil that were brought up? And a lot of
Not
people
surprising.
slipping, the cleats. Not surprising, Nate.
No, it happens every time they play an international game.
And how do we have a multi-billion-dollar franchise and we continue to put these, obviously when we go abroad, these are non-American football venues, and then we're surprised whenever there's issues with the turf.
Are we surprised?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Nate's not surprised. You're surprised?
I'm surprised that we can't figure it out.
It's called saving money. It's a corporation.
No, they're only worried about just sending teams over there to rock
Make money.
the brand. They don't care about the field conditions.
No,
Right? Player safety not at the NFL's forethought?
no.
Hey
Ever?
guys, you want to play on grass? We're playing on grass.
That's true.
Exactly.
Wear a guardian cap. It'll save you.
Yeah. I did see one in the Patriots game.
Yeah, there was one in the Steelers game. Patriots. I think the Colts definitely had one.
Probably on their quarterback.
Not on the quarterback. Because they have a specially designed helmet for the quarterbacks. if
I
would
bet they
like.
do.
For all quarterbacks, Jim.
It's a giant microphone in the quarterback's helmet of the Colts.
Well, no.
That screams,
okay.
slide, dummy.
Moving on to the Steelers. Falcons. Steelers win 18-10.
Oh, here comes Muff talking shit on a Ohio State player. Get ready.
Jim, you don't even like this Ohio State player.
I
Justin
don't.
Fields gets the start over Russell Wilson, who was the emergency quarterback officially after he was declared that he would not be starting with the calf injury that he's been fighting, I guess, since the beginning of training camp. Whenever the night before training camp, he was pushing a sled. Apparently, that's all the whole story here.
That's
Justin
their
Fields
story,
gets
and they're sticking to it.
that's the story to sticking to it. Justin Fields gets the start, but the hero of the game is Chris Boswell, who was 1 yard short of tying the all-time NFL record in a game of made field goal total yards. But he also punted the ball in an emergency situation, so I feel like we
Yeah.
should give him that.
I was just gonna say, I feel like we should give him the plus yards for his contributions.
The Falcons, Kirk Cousins, game 1, threw a touchdown to Kyle Pitts, who's on pace to shatter all of his record, all of his personal records from previous seasons under Arthur Smith. So,
Mm,
how do we feel about the Steelers, and how do we feel about the Falcons for the rest of the year? We'll start with Nate.
I didn't get a chance to watch any of these games, but based on the highlights I saw and the box scores, this looked like a JV game.
There's a lot of field goals and a lot of turnovers. I can totally understand where you get that, Jim.
I think if the Steelers get their quarterback situation figured out and get that locked in, I think the Steelers will have a good season.
Okay, Alex, what are your thoughts on Steelers after game 1?
Well, I was expecting at least a touchdown. We didn't get that, so that hurt. But it was nice to at least see a quarterback who I feel like Justin Fields played smartly, as in knowing when to tuck it and run it. And I feel like overall we managed the game how it needed to be managed to get a victory. So I'm focusing on the positives.
That's it. Justin Fields' passing chart is pretty much a mirror image of what Kenny Pickett did last year, aside from Justin Fields didn't turn the ball over. And I think he's more intelligent, as Alex said, of when he tucks and runs. And I feel like opening up the field with these sideline passes is more beneficial for Fields, who I think is a better overall runner than Kenny Pickett was.
I would not.
I would
I
hope.
would not. I would not go so far as to say he's more intelligent. I would go so far as to say he has a better resume and played on a better college team, and therefore has better. But Kenny Pickett at Ohio State, I think the same thing would turn out. Is what I'm trying to get at, Muff.
Oh, so Ohio State doesn't pay for players anymore; they develop them.
Not that Muff. That is not what I fucking said.
That's what I heard.
I'm saying that Pitt probably didn't do a lot of good for Kenny Pickett.
Right. Ohio State would have developed him better.
Yes.
Oh. Then why'd they have to spend $20 million?
Boy, now Pittsburgh gets back to a quarterback that's more athletic. They haven't had a quarterback that's been athletic since Ben was in his early 30s.
That's also very true. And even then, athletic is giving Ben Roethlisberger credit. He was just big enough to run and barrel people over.
And break out of sacks, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, win's a win in the NFL. Steelers fans are going to take that.
If you think they paid $20 million for Will Howard at Ohio State, you're an idiot.
How much money did they pay Will Howard?
Not $20 million.
They
Man,
paid
a lot
$20
of other
million for
people
their
they paid
roster.
$20 million on.
I'm just saying, if you can develop him, why is Kyle McCord in Syracuse?
Because his dad did not want him to sit there.
Okay, just wanted to know, Jim. Cardinals taking on the Bills in Orchard Park. The Bills win 34-28. The Cardinals execute the first dynamic kickoff return touchdown.
I would
Of
dare
note,
say probably not the last.
I don't think there's going to be as much as we believe was going to happen, because I saw a whole lot of balls going back of the end zone still.
Yeah, they showed a graphic here on this Monday night game before they got started. It was like 60-some% of kickoffs resulted in touchbacks already in week 1.
I was just gonna say there were more. I thought people would make more of an effort not to do the touchback, but I think they all just were like, "Well, they're gonna do it too." So we'll just meet in the middle.
So we'll see. I mean, 67, I'm sure that's less than it was last year or in years past. So we're seeing more returns. theoretically that should lead to more kickoff return touchdowns. So I can't disagree with you, Jim. I'm just curious of how this is going to play out after the teams test the waters on putting it in returners' hands.
Well, and they were saying too that the average starting field position is up, obviously because the touchbacks up 5 more yards. But I think they said with this dynamic kickoff, the average return or average starting position was like the 34
when they do return it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's going to be the average on the return, guess what we're going to see? Everything in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, but I think that average was inflated because of the kickoff return for touchdown.
That's fair. Yep, that'll definitely inflate that. Kyler Murray. I guess it's a good game for Kyler Murray against the Bills. Putting up those 4 touchdowns. And this is full disclosure, I have no idea what the stat lines were in this game, so I have no idea what Marvin Harrison Jr. did. I'm not sure what Josh Allen did. Okay, 1 catch. I'm not sure what Josh Allen did. I'm not sure what the Bills' offense looked like because obviously they've replaced Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis.
I saw they said that Josh Allen potentially has a left hand injury.
Good news is he throws with his right. About the only
But he
positive I
waves
can say.
bye to his haters with his.
I did hear that there was a sobriety checkpoint outside of Orchard Park, Bill Stadium.
That's just cruel and unusual punishment.
That is
That's
just
targeting.
That's just
That's
not
entrapment. That's entrapment.
That's not okay.
cool.
Entrapment. You mean you're going to let us come in here on the first home game of the year, and this is how you're going to treat us? That's entrapment. You know what's going to happen. So, Bills 1-0, Cardinals 0-1. Next, I think a surprise outcome. The Patriots beat the Bengals 16-10. Jamar Chase plays despite not getting his new deal done. And I think this has just been consistent that the Bengals have not performed well in opening games and potentially in opening weeks since Joe Burrow has been at quarterback. Do we think this is a reflection on how good the Patriots could be or how bad the Bengals are right now?
I think it's more how bad the Bengals are right now.
Yeah.
They think Jamar really hasn't been there practicing. They lose Joe Mixon in the offseason. T. Higgins was inactive. So it's like, I don't almost say if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm slightly panicking.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, like I said, they have not performed well in opening weeks with Joe Burrow at quarterback. But everything Nate just said just adds up to, oh shit, what if it takes us 4 or 5 weeks this year? Can we come out of this hole?
Mm-hmm. Especially in the AFC.
Yes, especially in the AFC. Other thoughts on this game? Again, didn't watch, didn't keep up with it.
They debuted the all orange.
Oh, that's right.
Did they go away forever now?
No, I think it's just an option, but I don't know. It might go away because they're 0-1 in it.
That's what I need.
Here we go. Next, we have the Vikings beating the Giants 28-6. And it's sad, sad day for old Daniel Jones.
Wah, wah, wah.
People calling him Danny Pennies.
They want DeVito.
Yeah, I saw that video. They go, Danny Pennies, can I get $1 million?
It's all bad. I mean, the Vikings definitely not intended to be any type of true contender this year, all said and done. People were hoping that they'll be good. I mean, they obviously have Justin Jefferson, but Jordan Addison got hurt in this game. Aaron Jones, correct? They brought in at running back?
Correct. Yep.
So, right, there are people who are hoping they're going to be competitive, but I don't think anybody thought this was going to be this bad, especially with Malik Neighbors starting with the Giants, actually giving Daniel Jones maybe a true wide receiver threat. Obviously, the Giants are without Saquon Barkley now, but this is all bad for the New York Football Giants.
Agreed.
Next, we have the Titans taking on the Bears. The Bears take the win, 24-17. Caleb Williams does make his debut. Does paint his fingernails to say the Bears, but has almost zero contribution to this win, as the Bears defense is a difference maker with 2 touchdowns. The Bears offense had 0 offensive touchdowns, 148 total yards, 64 of which were passing.
Yeah, there's people wanting to torch him already.
I mean, you can't after a win.
I don't know. I think it was on the McAfee show when they were doing the overreaction Monday, getting the tweets from people, and someone responded back and said, "Oh my God, the Bears just drafted the new Rex Grossman."
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't they go to a Super Bowl with Grossman?
Was it him or Cutler?
That's what I
It was
forget.
Jay
It
Cutler.
was in that area. I just forget which of those two. Yeah, we'll see. I think this is more of the Titans lost the game than the Bears won the game in this one. Will Levis, I think, had two interceptions, which were part of that the defensive touchdowns for the Bears. And one of them, I don't know if anybody saw the clip, he threw it, tried to like flip it as he was going out of the pocket, was picked off, and as he flipped it, he fell to the ground. And as the defender was running down the field, he put his hands on top of his head like this, like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Oh no.
Oh, no. So any other thoughts on Titans Bears?
Negative.
Okay, the Panthers and the Saints. Saints absolutely blasted doors off of this one, 47-10.
Wow, are the Panthers bad?
This is bad. Bryce Young's first pass was an interception, and it did not get much better from there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is more of a testament that the Panthers have not improved, and I don't think it's the Saints being that good.
Exactly.
100%.
Because I think we all know from the sample size that Derek Carr is not the guy, although they made him look like a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, when you said this is a testament to, I was afraid you were going to try to make an argument that the Saints were that good.
No, I mean they got some pieces, but I don't think you're not going to expect the Saints to put up that kind of offensive numbers every week.
No.
All right. Down in Florida, the Dolphins beat the Jaguars 20-17. At this point, we all have probably seen what happened to Tyreek Hill
No, what happened?
prior to the game. He was pulled over and put into cuffs, put on the ground, detained, later, I'm going to say released because he was never put in jail, but was released from the handcuffs. Was at the game, and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, was part of a pregame interview, which was, I think, an interesting watch. So feel free to go check that out. We're not going to get too much into that on that part now. But Tyreek Hill still has a pretty good game, and the Dolphins win. They come back to win this game 20-17 over the Jaguars.
I don't know. This week in the NFL was, I don't have a ton to say yet.
I feel like we need to get Alex hooked up on Red Zone to catch all these games.
I'm on Red Zone, but I wasn't able to watch Red Zone this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Jim's new team, the Texans, over the Colts, 29-27. The Colts have not won a week one game in 11 straight years, and nothing changed this year. Jim, what do you think of your new team's week one performance?
I thought it was good. I'm kind of happy with the connection from Stroud to Diggs. Diggs kind of, I thought that wasn't going to happen. But it did. Makes me very happy. I thought CJ played well. I think they slowed down a little bit in the second half. But overall, like, I'm pretty happy with it, man.
Good with your decision after 1 week?
After 1 week, I'm very pleased.
There we go. For somebody, I'm sure, Jim, who watched more of this game than any of us, the Colts have something to run with here, or is this just week one?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's competitive right now.
No, I think they're a contender. I think they're not as bad as some of the other teams we've already highlighted. I think they have a shot at a lot. Like, I think they're better than Tennessee. I think they're just as competitive as Jacksonville. So I think as far as the AFC South goes, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Okay. Anthony Richardson, did he run his head into any brick walls or defensive players unnecessarily.
The boy lived to fight another day.
Made it through.
Yeah.
And that's something that the Colts fans can be excited about, to have QB1 making it to week 2.
Yeah. Next week, the Texans have the Bears. So we'll see what Mr. Nail Painting has in store.
I think you should be more worried about what the Bears defense has in store.
Yeah, that's true.
Next, Jim's old team, the Chargers, beat the Raiders 22-10. Jim Harbaugh gets a win in his return to the NFL. Dresses a 320-pound fullback. Say la vie.
What?
I don't know what else to say.
J.K. Dobbins scored
He did.
scored a touchdown there.
He was in the same Achilles factory that Aaron Rodgers came from.
Yeah. Yep. And got the game ball.
Indeed, he did.
Got the
Indeed.
game ball.
How does that make you feel that Jim Harbaugh is coaching a former Ohio State player?
I was just gonna ask a similar.
I'm glad they had to give him the game ball.
Glad he had to give him a game ball.
Had to give him. Chose
I
to
don't
give
know.
him.
J.K. Dobbins was on McAfee and had a lot of high praises for Harbaugh, Jim.
Well,
Uh-oh.
what are you gonna do?
I mean, there's always room for you to go back. Go back, Jim. You said this is a very fluid situation. You can
This is
make
a
it back.
very fluid situation. He's couching everything.
I'm not going back.
You said you're not going back now. You said after
As
a year.
long
No,
as
he,
old.
no, he said he's not going back as long as Harbaugh's the coach.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Nate, for having my back on that one. Cappy
Yay.
khakis. Not going there.
All right. Next, Nate's Buccaneers take down the Commanders
Bum, 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 bum.
37-20. Take it away, Nate.
Rookie Jaden Daniels does what rookie Jaden Daniels did as a LSU Tiger. He rushed for a couple scores, and I think he was actually the leading rushers as well as obviously the leading passer. Baker looked good. I just don't know if he can maintain that through another 16 games plus potentially.
He's feeling dangerous.
He threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of which to Mike Evans, and hopefully Mike can stay on pace for his 1,000 yards each year. I think he only had like 60 some. It was nice to see he get all the receivers involved because I think Godwin had a touchdown and rookie Jalen McMillan had a touchdown as well. The only downfall here is safety Antoine Winfield got hurt damn near like a play or two left in the game. And he's going to miss, I think they said at least 2 weeks with like an ankle or foot injury.
Hey, if you want to get rid of Baker, Cleveland will gladly take him back at this point.
Oh, I know. I saw all the memes. It was like, what was it? Bradley Cooper from The Hangover when he calls, like, yeah, we messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Very bad.
All right. For anybody who did not know this or see this, former now Vice President Real Entine was caught on video making very disparaging remarks about and towards players, fans, and other NFL owners, as he was secretly recorded on multiple dates by a journalist he met on a dating app.
Yeah, but I mean, like, former as in which regime? Was he on the new regime?
I feel like
Or was he part of Dan Snyder?
I don't know if he's. I think they cleared house on that, so I think he's part of the new regime.
That organization is cursed. Cursed.
It certainly seems reasonable that it could be cursed.
They should shutter it. They should get rid of it. They should give a new town a franchise and let that ghost die.
I don't think that's a terrible solution. Jim has figured it out. Next, the Seahawks take down the Broncos 26-20.
West Virginia should have a franchise.
Nah, we're good with just our college team.
I think Charleston should have a team.
No, that's stupid. I want one. It would take away the magic of.
This is why West Virginia doesn't have nice things, because of that attitude right there.
I don't want to take away the.
Nah, I don't want one.
I don't.
Speaking of West Virginia, nice things. Geno Smith leads the Seahawks to a win over the Broncos 26-20.
Woo.
Smith had I think, a long rushing score in this game.
Yeah, he had like a 30-some yard scamper up the middle.
Scamper.
Mm-hmm.
Geno still got the wheels. The Broncos get 2 safeties in this game, not just 1, but 2.
Yeah, they had like a holding in the end zone, and then they actually had one on a run up the middle. And for the life of me, I will never understand why you go from shotgun on the 1.
Yeah, I've
Go
never
back
understood
to
that
forward.
either. But I guess if that's a strategy you're going to go with, that's a strategy you're going to go with. How was Bo Nix? Anybody know?
Not good.
Not good. All right, fair enough. Bo Nix, not good. Geno Smith gets the win. Seahawks win their first game of the season. The Cowboys put a whooping on the Browns, 33-17. The same week that Dak Prescott agrees to his NFL record 4-year, $240 million contract.
On the same day.
Yeah, at like 11 a.m.
Same day. He went out there and got his money. He was like, oh, you're going to pay me. Now I'm going to play.
Guess it's time. So I did get to watch some of this game, and the Browns offense looks, the word I'm going to use is pedestrian, and I'm not sure if there's any relief in sight with Deshaun Watson at the helm.
There's not. That looked pitiful.
At least they got in the end zone.
But it was touch and go there.
Yeah.
Is that pun intended?
Yeah.
Jesus. That's a good one. It's a good one, Nate. Well done. Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson left with a knee injury in this game. CD Lamb had a very good game. Zeke Elliott had 1 touchdown or 2.
I know he had at least 1.
Yeah, I know he had at least 1 as well. I didn't know if there was 2 there. Brandon Cooks had a touchdown for the Cowboys. I think it was just an impressive performance from the Cowboys in week 1.
Yeah, they're back, aren't they?
Fox will tell you they are. Sunday Night Football saw an overtime game, and the Lions are ultimately victorious, 26-20. The Rams were without Puka Nacua for most of the game, who left with a knee injury, which I think it was a re-aggravation of something that he had throughout most of the preseason.
It's
Mhm.
nice that it was game to game.
And now Puka Nacua will be going on the IR, missing at least the next 4 games. So
Really?
fantasy
Yep.
owners like me, not happy.
I swear I just saw today he was a game to game decision.
Well, you must have been looking at some thing there on your phone there, Hot Miker.
Must have been on the
It was
TikToks like
ESPN.
Jim. TikToks like Jim looking at things from 2
No, it
years
was
ago.
ESPN. It was on the TV.
On the ticky talkie.
It was not on the Tiki Talkie. It was on the TV Talkie.
So the Lions get the win. If I remember correctly, Amon-Ra St. Brown did not have the game that many were expecting him to have. Sam Laporta, again, I think the Lions we survived this game, we got to win, and we're going to move forward.
Yeah, from what little bit I did see of this game, it was a lot of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep. So that leads us into Monday Night Football, which is happening as we record. Jets in San Francisco taking on the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, I believe, is not playing.
Correct. Inactive.
That was another thing that surprised me.
Also, has probably surprised a lot of fantasy owners that are kind of upset.
That's what I mean.
So, in San Francisco, though, Trent Williams did get his deal done on the field right now, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Pay him a league high $27.65 a year for offensive lineman. Noticeably missing for the Jets, though, is Hassan Reddick, who's forfeiting his $800K game check, which adds to approximately the $5 million he's already accrued in fines so far this year.
I just don't understand that. If you're that disgruntled, how are you going to give up that much money?
Apparently he is. But what is the live look in for this game? What's the score? Aaron Rodgers still on the field? Has he tore another Achilles?
No, he's managed to get through the first quarter with a lead. They're up 7-6. Getting ready to punt. And They went 3-0 the first series. Brees Hall had a fumble on the second series, and they went right down the field, and Brees Hall scored. Looks pretty evenly matched right now. I did look at this for a minute. I'm like, who in the hell is number 1? And then I realized Debo changed his number.
Mhm.
Oh, did he?
Rodgers is
Yeah, Debo's
7
no longer number 19. He's now number 1.
All right. So we'll see how this game pans out, but competitive first quarter.
Rodgers is 7 for 10 for 64 yards.
Okay.
I know Muff will an update on his boy.
I took his overpassing yards on a prop right now. So he's on pace. That's all I need to hear. Any other thoughts? NFL Week 1, games of note, players of note, things that we did not discuss.
Need Garrett Wilson to get 1 more reception and Brandon Ayuk to get 4 more receptions.
Apparently, Jim has a parlay in action.
I don't know. The Ayuk one might be tricky because they said that he's probably going to be like on a pitch count because he hasn't been practicing.
Well, make those pitches 4 more pitches.
Jim's just asking for a little bit more.
Yep.
All right, let's get into college football week 2.
The unexpected good week.
It's an unexpected good week, and also a week which I think Jim is trying to fire every head coach.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
that's
every
his
head
media to go
coach.
to.
I'm just saying fire select few.
Most.
Starting with
If you lost, fire you.
No, you didn't even have to lose to get fired.
Y'all
That's
can
true.
make
That's
fun,
a
but
fair point.
Didn't
I'll make
even
fun
have
all
to
you want.
lose. All right, we will start off in the games of note for our teams. Alex, WU beats Albany 49-14.
Yep. Not a ton to say about it. Looked a lot better than last week, which I mean, you're playing Penn State versus playing Albany, but I like that we came back 149-14, back on track. Positive vibes only. Going into the backyard brawl this week. It's a big game at Pittsburgh.
okay. Is it big? That's my first question.
Yes,
Because it's a rivalry.
it's a very big rivalry. Yes. You cannot at all deny that the backyard brawl is a big rivalry.
I didn't say it was. I said, is it big just because of the rivalry? Because like
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of implications. I mean, yes, it has implications for us as a season that you don't want a loss to an unranked team.
Pitt
So if
lost
you're
to
asking big on
Cincinnati.
that, yes. But if you're saying, is this a big game? Yes, it's an emotionally big game because it's a rivalry game.
Pitt lost
like-
Cincinnati.
Pitt beat Cincinnati.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Lost their starting running back.
So,
Struggled with Cincinnati.
so if Michigan loses every game this year and plays Ohio State, will that be a big game?
So we're saying that's the equivalent for WVU.
Yeah, I would say the equivalent of playing Michigan for Ohio State would be us playing Pitt.
Okay.
Yeah, I
No
mean, it's
smarmy-
always
No smarmy comments. I'm just asking.
no, I know. I'm just saying that's like the level. It is always going to be a big game.
Okay. Fair enough.
Next, we have Ohio State blanking Western Michigan 56-0 in the Wisconsin Stallions their bowl.
Love this game. Love everything about this game. Good shit. 4 quarterbacks we got in there. Running game was great. Love this. Love this. Good stuff.
Okay. Good stuff from Jim. Penn State survives against Bowling Green 34-27 in Happy Valley.
Your team, buddy. What do you got to say?
I said it right there. They survived against, I think, probably an NFL caliber tight end in Fannin, but Penn State's going to have to figure out defensively how to play against, I would say, more spread type offenses. Is definitely, I think, an issue. They blanked Bowling Green in the second half, so apparently they made the appropriate adjustments, and the offense, aside from a bad pick from Drew Aller, still did what they were doing last week against WVU overall. So, right, it's this defensive issue that was corrected at halftime, and they have the bye week to figure this out before they play Kent State and then get into the Big Ten schedule. So you got the win in a week that other teams did not.
Fair.
Other thoughts?
Nope.
Like Alex said, good weekend. All of our college teams won. All our pro teams won.
Exactly.
What was
But also, I kind of thought like I wasn't really overly hyped about this college slate, but it ended up being good.
Jim, you don't want to fire everybody yet? We're getting there.
I'm just saying, and I said in the chat, if you were Ohio State, this would be a different reaction.
I don't disagree. I just think it's unwarranted to have that reaction at this time.
And I think you're crazy. I mean, I understand you have a bye week, but like
the sky does not fall in Happy Valley, Jim.
you hired a defensive coordinator from that was the head coach of Indiana, and then 27 points were laid upon you by Bowling Green. If there's not a sense of like even a twinge of did we make the right hire? If that's not there, okay. So be it.
That doesn't mean the sky is falling.
But is that thought in there as a fan base?
I'm sure that there are parts of the fan base that are concerned about this. I'm not going to say that
You're
doesn't
not.
exist. No, I'm not particularly concerned at this time.
Nate, am I off base here?
No, that's just the standard at Ohio State that you're expected to win every game by 21 points or more. But from Muff's standpoint, it's like, yeah, we didn't look good. It's not the end of the world. We got a victory out of it. I think, if anything, it should put a sense of urgency into these guys that, all right, so much for this bye week. We thought we were going to have a bye week. Now it's going to be like a come to Jesus week that, hey, you guys thought we were going to be this good. It turns out we're not. So you better get your shit right against Kent State before we get into the Big Ten schedule.
Okay.
Yeah. Jumping into the rest of the top 25 action. We had number 1 Georgia beating Tennessee Tech 48-3. Oh hum, there we go.
That's just them being them.
Yep. Number 3 Texas handles number 10 Michigan 31-12 in the Big House.
That score doesn't surprise me.
I am very confused by a lot of things in this. Like the reaction of Texas is back compared to Michigan fans saying, well, we lost everybody. This is us rebuilding. Which is it? Like, is Texas back? Is it because Michigan's down?
We'll see if Texas is back when they get into the heart of the SEC schedule.
Well, they
Right.
just beat the defending national champions.
Jim, this doesn't matter. You just turned over
Okay.
so much on that roster that
So we are going to chalk it up to the fact they're turning it all over, and Texas hasn't proven themselves. So Texas isn't back yet.
no, I still think Texas is back. They're a top 5 team that's been impressive in their first 2 weeks. I just don't think they can solidify their back fully until they get through the SEC schedule.
I lean a lot harder towards their back.
So do I.
Michigan definitely isn't what they were last year. I mean, I don't
No.
think there's much debate there.
But I think Texas looked really good.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Texas also has a turnover sword, which I thought was pretty interesting. In fact, we have I think a whole new slew of turnover type regalia and options that I think
We should have a whole segment on that.
what the new turnover celebrations are. We could do
I
that.
just have a real big issue with this in terms of I've heard the Michigan bullshit. I've heard Texas's claims. I just don't understand which way to go with it. And from that game, from that standpoint, Texas is back, in my opinion. Now, do they have to walk through Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama? Yeah. Okay. Do they have big tests coming up? Absolutely. But I think there is some resume fodder. That was the number 10 team in the nation.
That was. I mean, according to the AP.
That's a good win.
It's never a bad win when you beat a ranked team, especially a top 10 team.
So I refuse to let Michigan take away their win by saying we're reloading.
Okay.
We wouldn't have gotten away with that.
Well, you're not in the same situation as Michigan as a program. And I'm not saying they should get away with it, but I think there would be different thoughts if everything that happened at Michigan was happening at Ohio State.
I also won't stand on the other side of the fence and say Texas only won because they didn't know Michigan didn't know Texas's plays. Like, I'm not buying that bullshit either.
Right.
So
Moving on, number 4, Alabama beats South Florida 42-16. Nick Saban Field is introduced.
dogfight there for a little bit.
I think that's very well earned.
Yeah, I mean, this game was a lot closer than the final score was through like 2.5, 3 quarters.
Yep.
Winners win in the end. That's what I'm going to say. This week is winners win.
That's because it's gonna be your thing. I'm cool with it.
Hey, if you win to a 12-0 record, I think I'm okay with it.
Well, weren't you the one
speaking
who
of
said
winner-
great teams cover?
I don't know.
Yeah, Ohio State didn't cover last week.
And
Penn
I
State
said
didn't cover
great.
this
I
week.
said they were a great team. I own my
Go ahead,
shit.
Nate. Go ahead, Nate.
I was say, speaking of winners win, how about losers lose?
Losers do lose as Northern Illinois comes into touchdown Jesus' house and takes down number 5 Notre Dame 16-14. Very emotional post-game interview with the Northern Illinois head coach.
That boy fell to his knees.
They were making fun of the sideline reporter a lot for like just kept being like, where is his emotion coming from? Like, sir, like, or ma'am, he just beat Notre Dame, who's been so hyped up about whatever. He's never gonna win a game this big again in his life. His play, you know what I mean? Like, the emotion came from that. The hours you've poured into a game like this. This is your Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
realistically, what else does a team like Northern Illinois really, really play for? A game like this.
Yep.
That's where the emotion comes from.
Indeed. I think towards the end of this game, I'm not going to say the fix was potentially in, but the officials did try to help Notre Dame a couple times.
It was rough.
Was that a third or fourth? It was a third down play where Northern Illinois looked to live, as well as at every replay I saw, secure a first down. But the side judge, Nate, is that who we say is the guy that's on the sideline?
The S is the deep wing. So are you talking like more line of scrimmage or more down the field?
I guess it would be line of scrimmage because it was a short yardage play.
So if you're on the SS side, it'd be the head linesman. If it's on the other side, it would be the L would be the line of scrimmage guy.
I don't know what SNL mean in this situation, but there's a guy on the sideline.
So the side judge is the S on the back.
Staring at
Well,
So the side judge and the head linesman are on one side, and the field judge and the line judge are on the other side. And the easiest way we remembered this in my group chat for our crew is one guy who does college games. He says, "You just got to remember, fucking loser and shithead."
it.
There you go. There's your little tidbit for the day from Nate
The
in
guru
regards to
officiating.
remembering
Wow.
the officiating stuff. But was running up to where the ball was, placed it about a half yard short. All the replays, and they said it was inconclusive because pretty much they couldn't see the ball, even though the body was at or past the first down marker. So there's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is after they reviewed the play, the man was inbounds. They did not wind the clock on the ready to play. So it was paused, whereas Northern Illinois could have run off another 20, 25 seconds, whatever it starts up at, which then left Notre Dame with about 30 seconds instead of potentially about 5 to 10 seconds, all said and done. And obviously Notre Dame was not successful, but if Notre Dame would have ended up winning that game, there would have been a lot of conspiracy and fodder. Did I miss anything there, Jim?
No, you're right.
Just because I was trying to think of all the things that happened all at once there.
No, you did good.
All right. Notre Dame, do they have any shot to get in the playoff now?
No.
We got to run the table.
If they run the table, is there still an opportunity?
to get in the playoff. Yeah. I mean, really, they just got to hope and pray that they run into USC and USC still is in
That's
the top
true.
10.
You're
See, I
right.
feel like they need help from other people.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, I don't know who else is on their schedule outside of USC that's currently within the top 25. I mean, they play Florida State, but as we've seen, Florida State,
Doesn't mean anything now.
right. Let me see. I'll look up the Notre Dame schedule while we move on.
Nobody.
Louisville, they have top 25 matchup in Louisville right now. Georgia Tech, depending on how that goes. Florida State, depending on how that goes, and then USC at the end.
Yes,
So-
really, they got USC to hang their hat on
Yeah.
last game of the regular season if both teams can
Yeah.
win some games.
And they may have like a top 15 win against Louisville if Louisville stays undefeated throughout. So
Right. Then what is it with them too? They schedule these smaller non-power 4 or whatever you want to call it now schools. Because then they lose to Marshall like last year or 2 years ago.
Alex,
What is this?
Didn't Notre Dame lose to
Notre Dame?
Marshall?
Yes, they lost to Marshall.
So maybe they should
Well,
start playing some teams that are apparently more Power 5 and play
Well,
because apparently
honestly-
they can't beat small schools.
I mean, you go in and you beat Texas A&M in College Station, and then you can't beat Northern Illinois at your house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. I mean, Marshall went to South Bend and upset them. Maybe you just don't do practice games.
we still do practice games.
Let's go to-
Fire Marcus Freeman, Jim.
Ooh.
He might not have many years left.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's hot. It's hot.
I thought. I mean, I think I said this. I think he's 1 year away from having the program he wants, but something like this does not help you instill confidence in what your recruiting class could be.
Yeah.
Oh, and for last thing for Notre Dame for me, it's like, yeah, you think he's trying to get that program there, but he's not getting like for me, it's like the quarterback play. Like you go out and get Sam Hartman for a year. Now you go out and get Riley Leonard for a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, can you not recruit quarterbacks to Notre Dame? Can you not develop quarterbacks in Notre Dame?
Potentially any and all of those responses are correct.
I think it's a defensive coordinator playing
Yes.
coach. That's my take on Marcus Freeman. As much as I hate to say it, he's an Ohio boy, but he's a defensive coordinator playing head coach.
And he needs the right tools and support around him in the coaching as well as in the key skill positions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 6, Ole Miss and Jim's boy Jackson Dart take down Middle Tennessee State 52-3.
They look damn good doing it, man. And
Yeah.
it's Tennessee State, but this might be Lane's year. The expanded playoff. He doesn't have Nick in his way. I mean, he's got Sark. He might run headfirst into Texas eventually, but
Or Kirby.
yeah.
Either one of those. But a win. Like I said, this was a win week, which brings us to number 7, Oregon. Almost losing one against Boise State, 37-34. Boise State's running back, apparently a dude.
Yeah.
Like
we-
NFL caliber dude.
I knew that going into it when I went to bet this game with the work bets.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be this close. Like,
Yeah.
I thought a touchdown, maybe.
Full disclosure, I woke up in the middle of night for us because this game started at 11. And I was like, I'm gonna check the score real quick. And I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And kind of like didn't go to sleep until I was like, oh, okay, game's over now.
I mean, they did the same shit last week. It's like, are they just like sleeping through the beginning of the season, or is all the hype just hype?
If my dad was on this podcast, he would say that they are lulling Ohio State to sleep and not showing a full deck for that Ohio State game.
Are you saying that, Jim?
I am not. But if it became true, like if it came out and they just start molly-whopping Ohio State, I'd be like,
They did
the
it.
old man was right.
They did it. Man. Damn the Ducks.
Yeah.
Next, number 9, Missouri, 38-0 over Buffalo. Boston College takes down.
Whoa. Don't just jump over Missouri. I think they're a sleeper for the season too.
They were hot last year. I was in on them, and I'm kind of still in on them.
I think towards the end of the season, they're going to pick up a lot of steam. They stay healthy. They let the others savages beat the shit out of each other. There's another one that's in play. This expanded playoff, I'm telling you. Some dogs might sneak out.
Okay, Boston College takes down Florida State 28-13. Wait, this is another team that you hate now, Florida State?
No, I just love
Sad
the fact-
Dabo, Sad Norvell. Who else do you want?
I'm just real happy Boston College got the
Yeah,
W
that's
on
true.
that one.
That's true.
I just think Jim's more like sad ACC.
That's
Wait,
At
true, too.
ACC.
Are you a Bill O'Brien fan, Jim?
I am.
I mean, I don't. You didn't have negative things to say about him when he was at Penn State. Now,
No,
obviously,
he
that was
got dealt a shitty hand.
right, and still was competitive.
Yep.
Overall competitive.
Yeah.
So I do think he brings a level of readiness and preparedness to a team like Boston College, as far as a program, that if they are disciplined and if they have like the details taken care of, can be competitive week in and week out, even against top level teams.
I thought he had more of the Penn State feel than Franklin does. I think he understood the program better. Like if there was ever a guy to take over for Joe Pa, I thought Bill O'Brien was the guy.
So, yeah, I'm high on Boston College. And again, they may have gone up against a overrated in every sense of the word Florida State team, but I think Boston College it is going to week in and week out a team that we should pay attention to.
Yeah, they'd be competitive.
Yeah. Number 11, Utah takes down Baylor 23-12.
I would fade Baylor the rest of the year.
I mean, okay, but okay.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
I'm not saying Baylor's good. I'm just saying why.
Because when Cam Rising got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
the
Again?
entire he smashed his hand against the cooler on the way out and just left the game. And that was towards the last 2 minutes of the first half.
And let's be clear, because this was question in our group chat. Cam Rising did not
Punch
physically
the
make
cooler.
He did not-
himself.
no, he got ran out of
punch the
bounds into
cooler.
a stack of
Yeah,
coolers.
Yeah.
I was not watching it, and he's like, he smashed his hand into the cooler. I'm like, wait, like went off and was mad and punched it because they don't feel bad for you in that situation. But
I will
apparently,
say that all of the wind, and I've never seen a stadium do this. Like I've seen like wrestling events, I've seen other things. The entire stadium took a shit. It was like somebody had died. And Baylor could not capitalize at all. And that backup quarterback for Utah, he's an athlete, but he didn't have the athletic. I wouldn't even say athletic. He didn't have the knowledge to get that offense any more production than what Cam had already gotten. And Utah and Baylor couldn't do anything more. Like they should have been able to stick a knife in him with all that momentum gone. It was basically home turf for him at that point.
it's fair.
12 Miami takes down Florida A&M 56-9.
I want to see Miami play a real team.
Florida A&M, just to clarify. But
That's what I said, isn't it?
yeah, I thought you just said A&M. That's how I was just.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Number 13 USC 48-0 over Utah State.
Good job.
Taking care of business.
In the primetime matchup, 14 Tennessee beats badly number 24 NC State 51-10 in a game that I did not realize was neutral site.
Tennessee took care of business. NC State was a little bit of a dogfight in the first quarter, but after that,
I think we need Jim to define what being in a dogfight is.
like they were going back and forth. The exchange series, like you thought, oh wow, NC State's more in this than I thought they would be, and then the superior talent just overtook. Like you could see the momentum. Just all right, I'm done playing with you. Now it's Tennessee's game.
Tennessee's quarterback, pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think he's up there with the big names yet, but yeah.
He has the the hype of the big names. I'm not going to say he's there
Ah.
yet, but he has the hype.
Okay, if you
He
say
was
so.
he was a top-rated recruit coming out of high school.
I hear about him talked about as much on things as other.
An example, Alex?
Yeah.
I just mean, like,
Dylan Raiola?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I hear him talked about in the same breath as those guys. So
I'm not sold on him yet.
Fair enough. 15 Oklahoma over Houston, 16-12.
mm, yeah, I'm not big on Oklahoma this year.
Me either.
No, that's a team that they should have really put away.
And I think more speaks to the testament of the Big 12 in Houston.
Did you hear that, Alex?
Complimentary of the Big 12.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna let it. I'm just gonna let
Moving on. Number 16, Oklahoma State beating Arkansas in 2 overtimes, 39-31. Another situation where great teams cover.
You
Our-
can't
oh-
say that anymore.
Huh?
That's not okay.
What?
Great teams cover.
Why?
Why am I not allowed to say that?
Why is it suddenly not okay?
Then Penn State's not great.
Okay.
I didn't, Jim.
Neither is Ohio State.
This is
I've said that already.
This is a week-to-week situation. You can't. Not every team covers every game throughout the year. Not to say that's never happened, but it's very
But Penn
unlikely.
State was not great this weekend.
I didn't. Did I ever
Well, they ain't
come out of
anybody
my
used to
mouth?
hurt.
Nobody
Alright,
said
carry
that.
on.
Oklahoma State covered though, and Alex and I are very happy about it. Oklahoma State was outgained by 300 yards and somehow still wins.
Yep.
I applaud their wherewithal to stay in that game. They could have given up easily, and I think Oklahoma State does that on a regular basis. They're never ever totally out of it.
Not with Mike Gundy at the helm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm impressed with Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I will say there's definitely discussion that Ollie Gordon in the first 2 games may have played his way out of Heisman contention by not being a game breaker or a playmaker, especially in this game.
Okay.
So more to come, see how that plays out. Kansas State, number 17, beats Tulane 34-27.
Yay.
18 LSU 44-21 over
Oh,
Nickel
I'm sorry, I
State.
lost track. I'm sorry. Tulane played real good.
Yeah.
Tulane played damn good.
Okay, anything else?
No, but like,
Is that all
kudos
you want to
them.
tell us?
Yeah, I watched that game. Real impressed with Tulane. They play fast, and they're not somebody to sleep on.
All right. This is pretty much just Jim figuring out all the teams he wants to bet on the next few weeks.
I watched these games, you dick.
That's fine. I just want you, when you say these teams are going to be really competitive, they're better than we think they are. I just want to see the bets come in now on these teams.
Oh, trust me. They're on my radar.
LSU 44-21 over Nickel State.
You don't have to worry about me betting on those fuckers. I'm not betting on LSU ever.
What about Nickel State? Are they good? Were they
They hung
competitive?
in there with LSU, sure.
Hung in. They lost by 23 points.
That score got ran up on the end.
Did you watch that game?
I watched highlights of that game.
Okay. Illinois beats number 19 Kansas 23-17.
Not Illinois, I think, was sneaky good. But Kansas just didn't have the it factor that week.
They're a basketball school.
Hopefully in 2 weeks they are still a basketball school.
Yeah, we'll see. Alex and I will be at the WVU Kansas game. Lock that one in here in 2 weeks. Illinois, Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
Old buddy got bigger.
Yeah, he did.
Don't fucking judge him.
I mean, it's not a judgment thing. It's just
listen, Jim, as a larger man myself, he was never small, but he got bigger.
The stress of coaching a team can take it out on you.
In Illinois, no less.
And pizzas are probably great.
He's doing something right in the calorie department. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
20 Arizona beats Northern Arizona 22-10 in a game that we definitely weren't watching because it probably started at 10.
Yeah, did not see anything to do with this game.
Iowa State in what is this called? The Cy Hawk rivalry? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Beats. I'm sorry, Iowa.
No,
What?
you're right. Iowa State beat
Jesus
Iowa.
Christ. I got all these numbers in here. There's 19 to 20 and a 21, and that's the ranks and the scores all at the same time. Iowa State beats Iowa 20-19.
Fuck
Mhm.
Kurt Ferentz. Fuck him in his face. Fire that guy.
There we go.
Fire that guy.
They somehow, I mean, right? This is
He played not to lose.
Iowa scored 19 points and didn't win. I feel like that's a
No.
headline here.
They sucked.
So
They had the momentum that whole first half, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, we're up.
Well,
Shut
no,
it down.
well, you have to score more than 19 points to win a game.
Ridiculous. That game was horrendous.
I did watch some of that game. There was other games going on at the same time. I was looking back and forth, but I did watch
Big
a
Mac.
good bit of that game. Jim's fire Kirk Ferentz.
Fire him. He just is worthless.
This is
22.
a team that lost that he's asking for firing, and not a team that won.
Yeah, that's true. 22 Louisville, 49-14 over Jacksonville State.
Okay.
You have nothing to say about either of these
Nope.
teams? You've had something to say about every game, so I'm just waiting.
Nope, I didn't see that
If you're
one.
gonna fire someone there, if we were
Yeah.
good, everyone's safe in
Nope.
that one. Got it.
Syracuse upsets Georgia Tech 31-28.
Syracuse has a walk now, all the way to Miami.
Yeah, I did hear the discussion on that.
Talking about like how they could start 7-0.
Yep.
Any comments on their quarterback?
They had great numbers.
Had great numbers and led them to an upset win.
Yeah.
So there we go. Kyle McCord, former Ohio State quarterback, which Syracuse head coach thanked Ohio State. So,
Mhm.
2
weeks ago. Yep. You're right.
he's thankful.
Mhm.
25 Clemson, 66-20 over App State. Pretty much the only thing that could have made Jim's weekend better did not happen.
Yeah.
Is Clemson not as bad as we thought they were, or is App
Because
State
they beat App State?
Can you let me finish my statement and thought?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Or is App State not as good as they've been in the past? They've been the notorious kind of like walk up in and mess stuff up, and Clemson put them to sleep pretty hardcore. So
Clemson just beat App State. Who cares?
all right, whatever. Next one's my favorite game of the week.
Who cares? Matt Rule, Nebraska, take down the Sanders family 28-10.
Broke one of their arms.
Shiloh, yep.
Darn.
Couldn't get any production out of the
It's
offense for
surgery.
shit.
Darn.
I mean,
Ooh,
they're calling him a charlatan. Old Dion, they're calling him a charlatan.
he's just not a good catch. He might be a good recruiter. He might be, you can
I
call
don't
him
even
whatever.
say he's that. I'll go
Oh,
so
so
far as to
now
say,
we're all on Team Alex, who said Dion's
no, hold on. I'm not calling him a piece of shit, Grandpa. I'm saying he's not a good recruiter.
I don't think he's a bad recruiter. I think he's a bad coach. I think
That
he can get
offensive
players-
line begs to differ for 2 years running.
I think he can get players in that are
He's great at skill positions,
yeah.
but
That's
he can't
true.
get a line to
That's
save
true.
his soul.
His focus is on the show. His focus is on having time
I
quarterback.
think he's okay on the offensive skill positions, but aside Travis Hunter,
Yeah, no.
tell me
yeah,
an NFL prospect on that defensive backside.
you're right.
So, Shadur Sanders did leave the field early.
Diva.
That was
To
BS.
get
That-
himself checked out.
if
get
he
himself
wasn't
checked
playing
out.
for his dad, his ass would be benched.
No, coach went with him.
No.
They had an escort.
No.
Yeah,
Gotta go get him
you see,
checked
he had to
out.
like walk through people to get to the locker room.
Yeah, because he was sitting there crying, and they're like, "Here, let's just get you off the field. This is embarrassing."
Hey, he's a Heisman hopeful.
Here,
He's
or you
not
can go
anymore.
shower before
not,
every.
and there's not a chance in hell. Garrett Green has a better chance of winning the Heisman than him this year.
That may not be the worst take Alex has ever had. And it is now being reported that the University of Colorado band is being asked not to play the fight song after Shadur throws a
It-
touchdown pass so the stadium can play his rap song instead.
If that's real life, F him. Sorry. If that's
Alex,
real life,
that's not a new stance for you.
no, but before it was kind of like playing the heel part way. Like I don't like him, but there was a little bit of like buying into it just to be the heel. But at this point, honestly, if they're like, "Hey, band, don't play the fight song. You don't belong in college football. You aren't college football. Get out and let us have our college football. If you want to go put on a show somewhere, go put it on. It ain't here. This ain't a
Yeah, I
concert."
hope this story gets out, and whoever works in that press box just deletes that file if it ever got on the computer.
Or I would just play it with some terrible voiceover like, "I'm a goofy goober, yeah. You're a goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers." God, he just pisses me off. Like, get lost.
Wow, did you
Anything
see
else to say?
No.
I don't even know if we have listeners anymore.
Nebraska was playing that song in their locker room to celebrate.
That's awesome. That I support. I was talking to my dad's neighbor about this yesterday. If you watch that game, I watched some of it, and Shador Sander gets picked off for pick six. Nebraska went wild. I mean, their team, their fans, and I'm like, you have brought that on yourself. Not
Well, remember what they said, Alex? Everybody's Super Bowl was playing Colorado.
Well, that's the problem. You have brought it on yourself, not because you're that good, but because they want to be a team that got to say, "Hey, look, you thought you were good, and we kicked you in the mouth."
You done,
I'm all
Alex?
fired up. It's
You
almost
done?
bedtime. You can't be getting me this worked up.
I'm gonna let him
You
live
have to
on
get a
that one.
relaxing night of sleep.
All right. I'm not even gonna get into the AP top
I
25
wouldn't
right
either.
now. I think we're gonna go straight to the winners and losers of the week. I think I started this last week, correct?
Probably, yeah.
Let's start with Nate this week.
All right, for me, my winner, and maybe you're thinking Jim. So Arizona State. You might say, why in the hell Arizona State? They're 2-0, and they brought back the cartoon Sun Devil helmet.
Oh, good
I'll
stuff.
take that.
I'll send that here in the group chat shortly. And then the losers, as we have already touched on, is Notre Dame. To pay 1.4 million to get beat at home and to potentially destroy your season before it ever gets started. And Shador Sanders for leaving early because he's a diva.
Thank you.
Jim, Nate says it's non-injury related. Are you refuting that
I'm
report?
just telling you what was said.
Well, obviously Nate has something that says otherwise.
No, I don't think it's injury related. I think he's just being a diva.
The tiki-talkie.
That Jim's ultimate source for real news.
Well, if it's on TikTok, Muff, it has to be true.
It's true. Just telling you.
I have a feeling that the Sanders family has a very good social media presence and can
Muff,
control your
you
mind.
can't talk shit on TikTok till you have TikTok.
I've given you my terms, Jim. It's up to you. Your move.
I'm saying you're not allowed to talk shit on it, man.
Your move. I can talk shit until you decide to pick up some social media presence for this podcast. Jim, your winners and losers of the week.
My losers. Wake Forest. Because they lost and it cost me money.
So aren't you the loser then?
The Big Ten.
Just gonna dismiss that statement.
The Big Ten. A lot of losses Iowa,
Okay.
piss poor performance. Maryland, piss poor performance.
Maryland lost to another Big Ten team.
Yeah, but piss poor performance.
Just gonna gloss over the fact that Illinois beat a
I'm
ranked
embracing
team.
this. I'm not commenting at all. I'm just
Illinois beat a ranked team.
Michigan, piss poor performance.
That's fair.
Penn State, piss poor showing. So the Big Ten.
Yeah, Ohio State's part of that. So
Winners.
they lose this week too.
Winners, Ohio State,
Oh, the Big Ten minus Ohio State.
Illinois, and the majority of the Big 12.
The loser, the Big Ten.
I'm taking it.
But the winner, two Big Ten teams.
I'm not saying a damn word.
I don't know why you can talk shit on my part of the segment.
Because
Alex, why don't you stop his interruptions?
Muff, please don't interrupt Jim when he's complimenting Big 12.
Thank you.
Otherwise,
fine. I ran up what he was trying to say that Ohio State and Illinois were winners while the rest of the Big Ten were losers.
That's how I feel.
All right, it's my turn. Winner.
Oregon, damn near shit the bed.
Winners. Oh wait, I meant to put Oregon in my losers. Sorry. Winner is obviously NIU this week. Good on them. Big win. Something those kids will remember for the rest of their lives. I like it. I'm not, no, I don't have to do that. Like there was no deal. He's trying to put OSU in my winners. There's no like trade-off there. Losers, Notre Dame, obviously. And then Dion, he ain't that good. That's all I have to say.
My winners this week are the haters. Many of the haters are able to say that they told you so about teams they didn't think would be good enough to compete, to
Yeah.
be in the playoff or a national championship this year.
Woo!
So the haters can be a winner. My losers this week are Irish college football supporters. Number one, Notre Dame loses, and Seamus gave an impassioned pregame speech to Georgia Tech, only to see them lose to Syracuse after starting the season 2-0. But the good news, at least we have Conor McGregor saying that he's going to run for the president of Ireland.
I can't.
So that wraps up college football, our winners and losers, which brings us into the home stretch here with other interesting news in sports.
Interesting news in sports.
Starting out in the WNBA, where Angel Reese is out for the rest of the season after injuring her wrist last week. So a very, a great, potentially Rookie of the Year campaign cut short. On the other side of this, Caitlin Clark was the only rookie in WNBA's history to record a triple-double, and now she's done it twice. At this point, solidifying with Reese's injury that there's really no competition for her to be WNBA Rookie of the Year.
So you're saying it was an inside job?
I did not say that. This is not a Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan situation, Jim.
I feel like that's what you were saying.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay.
Not about the basketball.
Okay. In college sports information, the NCAA is considering adding a 5th year of eligibility in all sports while keeping their red shirt, but then eliminating the national letter of intent.
Okay.
Explain that one.
If they had a 5th year of eligibility, we may as well just call it semi-pro sports then.
And that's where we're headed to anyway.
Well, I mean, there's a limit. In the pro sports, there's not a limit. So I wouldn't go that far. But
Alex, it's no longer about
a college degree.
correct.
No,
That's
I
what I'm
get
getting
that.
at.
I get that part of it, but yeah, okay. If you mean it that way, then yes. What would their 5th year be considering? First of all, some of us take 6 years of undergrad because it takes a long time to find your passion in life. And you know what? Maybe it would have been good for me to have, not that I played sports, but in that situation, I mean, not me, but somebody who needed 6 years to figure out what they want to do with their life. Maybe it would take time.
All right.
Don't you have to be taking classes? Like, what are they saying? Like,
Oh yeah, you still have to at this point, unless they redo the eligibility rules.
so the people that care about their education aren't going to be in college for 5 years. Let me back that up.
That's probably, you need to reconsider that
The
statement.
people that are playing sports and going to college because they don't care is what I'm saying. Are not going to be there for 5 years regardless.
Definitely something that could be true. In our baseball update, the Pirates got no hit last week.
That they did. That they did.
Wish I could pretend to be a little bit surprised.
Jim, now that you like truly understand how it is to be on this roller coaster, do you understand a little bit more now over the past 2 to 3 years of us talking about being Pirates fans?
I don't know why you guys haven't sold your fandom.
I can't.
To me, that's the dumbest shit.
Every year my pap does this where he's like, I'm not going to watch the Pirates this year. And we're like, okay. And then he's like, are you watching the Pirates? It's just something that's ingrained in you. You can't get rid of it.
This is the definition of insanity.
Yep.
That very much is, Jim, and yet we're along for the ride.
Now, I will say, like, when the time comes, like when I'm like 90 and you guys do get a World Series, like, I hope you're on the front of the bus. Like, I hope the 3 of you get some kind of like special thing for being fans.
Me
I
too.
remember-
Me too.
I remember in college when we made the playoffs, for a wild card game, I should say. I remember running home from rehearsal, like right when it ended in the theater, sprinting up the hill because I lived in like a house up the road to get there in time to watch the game because I
Bob
was
Nutting has to die.
Well,
Like when I'm 90, right? He has to be gone.
yes. If not, this is potentially proof that certain people don't love Pittsburgh Pirates fans,
Right.
certain deities or other spiritual beings.
Whatever higher power.
Yes.
Gotcha.
In the golf world, Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler are set to face off against Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka
Yep.
in a made-for-TV match pitting the PGA Tour against Live in Las Vegas, coming in December.
This is just a bad attempt to capitalize on money.
I think that'll be the worst attempt in December, depending on when this happens.
They'll do a piss poor job at advertising it.
That's been par for the course. I agree.
It's just going to be horrible.
Maybe. We are 1 month away from the NHL starting. Jesus.
I tell you what, not to bring everybody down, but just saw on hockey news, Johnny Hockey. We all heard that story, right?
Right.
His wife, God bless her, just came out today and said she's 9 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. I saw that.
Insane.
I didn't see how long it was. She said I just saw that when she was giving his eulogy, she had mentioned that.
9 weeks. That story, like, gets more and more tragic as we go.
Indeed, it does. Nate, take us
Crazy.
out with some positive local news.
So I just randomly just saw this. The local, I guess you can call it pro team, more semi-pro. The Washington Wild Things are in the Frontier League Championship Series against the Quebec Capitals, with games 1 and 2 being held in Washington. And those will be tonight, Tuesday night, when this episode drops, and Wednesday night. Game 3, as well as, if necessary, games 4 and 5 will be played north of the border.
Will you ever be able to umpire a semi-pro game, Nate?
If I tried, maybe.
if I which
I mean, I have no desire to go that far in baseball.
You should.
football is more, I feel like Nate's speed.
Yeah.
I just want you to do that so Muff will come as Will Ferrell from semi-pro.
I don't know. I think Muff needs to form a team and be the Will Ferrell from semi-pro.
He really should. He really should.
All right. That wraps up.
I'm just saying, I feel like when we suggest things like Muff dressing up, those are the reasons Nate would not choose to pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah, this may not be something that encourages Nate or entices Nate to pursue these opportunities, Jim.
You never know.
And that wraps up this week's episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. As a reminder, Thursday, this week's betting episode will be coming out with guest picker. Do we want to announce the guest picker, Jim, or
Noah.
There's no guest picker.
Noah making his
Noah's
second
our guest
appearance.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Hey, is that a short joke?
Oh,
Alex,
That's what she said, joke.
are you drinking moonshine?
this is water in a mason jar, just to clarify.
Man, just because he's from West Virginia doesn't mean he's always
I
drinking.
mean, there's always
moonshine.
honestly, it's nothing. Yes, I'm from West Virginia, but like, it's a fair question. I've at this point in my life and Muff's life, I feel like I've earned that he could ask that question.
You can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
And to make sure this rocket
Ding,
ship
ding,
keeps
ding.
going up, 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 and away, make sure you tell a friend, make a friend, be
Oh.